Today we're going to be going over 5 things we learned in Heats 2 and 3 of EU FNCS in Chapter 6 Season 3. Hope you enjoy. Mongrel, Kaito and Hydro did not have their greatest performance today, but a lot of that wasn't really down to them. They were contested every single game they played. Initially at Pumped Power, they did have one game where they went to Utopia, but the story was the same. There were teams there. The team that was contesting them at Pumped Power, it felt like they were more interested in winning the spawn fight than they were in going on to win the game, if you get what I mean. So it sort of felt like the chips were stacked against Mongrel from the beginning. Even if they did do okay off spawn, a third party would come in and clean them up. They didn't really have any meaningful experience in the end game. To be truthful, I don't think we saw Mongrel get out of first gear today, and I'm hoping LCQ is a big chance for him to show us what he's capable of. I hope he sticks with Kaito and Hydro. I see a bit of potential there with them as a trio, and hopefully they make the top 33 on Wednesday and can get to some end games and perform in LCQ. But yeah, to summarise Mongrel, hopefully in LCQ they are more settled, they can get an uncon drop, and they can really show us what they're capable of. Okay, so let's talk about another trio that didn't qualify, and that's Kami, Hari and iDrop. To be honest with you, these guys struggled all day, and it felt very reminiscent of the Kami, Seti and Hari that we saw last season. Not a team that was bad, not a team that was really, putting in poor performances, but just a team that was middling. A team that you never really felt like were going to win, were going to do anything meaningful. For me, the biggest issue today was their lack of kills. They only managed 14 eliminations, which was the second lowest in the top 15 consistency teams, which, for a team of Kami, iDrop and Hari's level, isn't really good enough. Surge was also a bit of an issue for them today. Obviously, Pix, Dom and Demus weren't at Utopia City, a team that they're used to trading with. And that not being an option did mean that they were below a few times, which did hurt their performance. Obviously, Kami, Hari and iDrop are a team that you want to see in Grand Finals. They looked promising in a few of the Eval Cups, but really it just looks like they've inherited a lot of the old issues from the Kami, Seti, Hari trio that we really felt had run its course. So I think unless improvements are made, I don't like their chances of getting through LCQ, but I do hope they do, because obviously Kami's a face that you want to see in every final, and indeed in Globals as well. Okay, let's talk about a trio that maybe you weren't expecting to hear about when you clicked on the video, and that's Pradaj, Finchik and Kantry. These guys won the first game of Heat 2, and I think their performance deserves some credit. I'm very curious to see how this team does in Grand Finals. They appear currently to have uncon pump power, which is massive. They've taken it off Wheat's trio. Wheat is now going somewhere else. So it'll be really interesting to see where they finish. I don't know. I'm going to do my predictions video sometime this week, possibly on Friday. So we'll see where I put them then, but their ceiling will be really, really interesting to see. Okay, let's talk about Veno, Vico and Flixie, because I don't really know what to make of their performance. The first 2 games, they were kind of just keying everyone they saw. It didn't feel like they were really worrying about their point tally too much. The last 3, they had to kind of lock in a little bit to make sure they got that consistency spot, which obviously they did end up getting. Courtesy mainly of an incredible clutch by Vico, really showing his individual brilliance there. It kind of felt to me a bit like they came in with the wrong strategy. Very reminiscent of Fredoxy in Heat 1, where they kind of were just having fun, fighting all the random teams in the first few games, and there was sort of a moment of panic where it looked like they might not qualify, and obviously they did, so I appreciate this is a bit of a mute discussion, but it did feel kind of like they got it wrong. They didn't take it seriously enough, and with how tight it was at the top, without that Vico clutch, which doesn't happen every time, they may not have made grands. Something to be aware of. But listen, if these guys can get Boxcar's uncon in final, then they're a serious contender to win EU Grands, especially with the form Vico's in right now. Just a quick word on Pix, Dom and Demus, because I think we're at the point now where we have to view these guys as contenders to win Grand Finals. They are that good. Their rise this year has been incredible, going from practically unknown players to just a team that you are so feared, are so good. They always get uncon POIs. They've come 5th and 3rd in the Grand so far this year. And I think they're a real contender to win this year. The way they were playing low ground in Heat 2 was exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. The fundamentals they have, the way they play Fortnite is brilliant. And this isn't exactly new information, I'm aware, but I want to point it out. And I want to, make it clear that these guys are contenders. These guys are on the level with your Venos, your Queasies, your Malibukas, your Frodoxies. They are up there. That's their level. Just before I finish, I want to mention 2 other teams that I thought did really, really well. SETI, Yapko and Panzer. Again, a team that I don't know what their ceiling is. They have an Uncon POI, they're Uncon Lone Wolf in the Grands. I'm really excited to see how they do. And Akira, Kurama and Werex, over 300 points in the consistency. Brilliant performance. By far the best French trio in the world right now. Very excited to see how they do in Grands. Okay, so those are some of the things we learned from Heats 2 and 3. I'm going to have a video out for Grand Finals doing my predictions, talking about who I think is going to do well, who I think might struggle, and that'll be out hopefully on Friday, so please stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed, and thank you very much. Cheers.